Hello, everyone. Welcome to Riga, Latvia, the final day of competition here in week one of the ISU Junior Grand Prix. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Conradi. This is your event, the Ice Dance event. Set up the free dance.
Yeah, it was great to see the 1990s rhythm dance that started the ice dance competition yesterday. And we found Dania Mwaden and Theo Bijot leading the field fairly comfortably, with some stiff competition though in second and third place from North American teams. And I'm just really mindful of the fact that all of the teams coming into this event have very different aspirations. We've got some very new teams that haven't been together for very long, and then we had the likes of Leila Velon and Alexander Brandis, who have been together for over a decade already. So some with a lot more experience, with a lot greater ambition for the results here, and some just happy to be performing on the illustrious Junior Grand Prix stage.
Well, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Riga and the final day of competition in week number one, and the free dance begins right now. Welcome back, everyone, to Riga, Latvia, the final event on week one on the Junior Grand Prix. Beautiful sunny day here in Riga. We didn't get any time to get downtown.
No.
Mark, pretty busy as soon as we got here. Both of us got a little bit here late, but a really well-run event and some good skating.
Yeah, great skating and great to sense the buzz and the atmosphere. We are buddied away in a corner of the venue and making our way up to the cafeteria for any snacks or drinks gives us the opportunity to sense some of the excitement that is in the venue, and there's absolutely that. And as we see the judging panel with Mr. David Molina, the referee there, I can confirm that it's lovely to see the skaters making friendships and also coaches solidifying friendships and reconnecting with friends that they've known when they competed themselves.
Yeah, and we've often said the Junior Grand Prix is a real family because there's so much formality, of the officials versus the coaches versus the pair. They're all mixed kind of together, and it's a smaller venue, so you see more people as opposed to a big arena, right? So it's a fun environment, and I don't want to say less stress, but I want to say probably a little bit more. Shouldn't even say enjoyable. I don't know.
Different.
Fun word. It's just different.
It's just different. So that gives us the chance now to just check in with the questions that have been sent in, and some really interesting and brilliant questions. And the challenge will be for those viewers that are sending these questions in is to keep that up over the course of the 7 stages of the Junior Grand Prix Series 2025. You started well. And the first question that I want to touch base with as we watch this ice dance free dance competition and the Estonians on screen now is a really good question from @Marina. How do ice dance tryouts work, and how do ice dance partners know that they are a good match? And the tryout term, for those that haven't been ice dancers and don't know what the reference point is, the tryout is just that, an opportunity for two partners to try out their partnership to skate together in an audition of sorts to see whether or not they can make a good partnership.
It is an audition. That's exactly what it is. You audition each other. The coach auditions the two to see if their skating skills and does it match, and then each individual auditions the other person going, can I get along with this one? It's that type of thing.
And the formation of these dance partnerships is very, very different for each and every skater. If there's a skater that's coming from a nation that doesn't have a strong either ice dance or pair community, then you don't have the luxury of choice in the same way as you would if you were coming from a nation maybe like Canada, where the ice dance is very strong, very popular, and they are abundant in their numbers. And so in an ideal world, in a kind of archaic belief system from what would be the ideal ice dance partnership, physically, you'd be looking for a certain physical matchup where ideally the man would be taller, the woman would be shorter, and there'd be a similar kind of leg length for the aesthetics of their movement. However, over the course of the past few decades, we've seen couples totally break that preconceived idea, and so now that's less of an expectation.
And what's more important is similar skating skills.
Yes.
Because you don't want to have one at a much higher level than the other. That's a challenge. So finding the skating skills, even though the aesthetics might be not quite the perfect situation and what is the perfect situation.
And I think, that lots of partnerships now are breaking that expectation. But for me, Albina Denkova and Maxim Stavisky, Bulgarian world champions, where they were almost similar in height, kind of set the trend for that's
And
no
the Kurs.
longer.
And
Yeah,
the Kurs.
Jonas Sinead Kerr, same. And so that's one of the kind of first considerations in a tryout, judging a book by its cover, what's the physical matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably, you're mentioning the skating skill compatibility or compatibility. That's important. But increasingly, I think the mental temperament.
Yeah, personality. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
match as well. Okay, do you have a second question, or are we going down that rabbit hole a little deeper?
Oh, sorry, I can. Come on, Mark. Come on. Question from Anna Rus Skating. What's something that the judges always like to see in ice dance, and why? Well, I mean, it sounds like I'm going to pose the question to you, Ted, but I know that you're just going to bat it back to me. So
Well, I am, but I'm watching you look at the papers here with like 1,000 words on them, so I'm going, how is he going to make this short? I think they just called a minute left, so you better hurry up.
Okay, I got to go for it. The ice dance judges ideally will be wanting to see the same things as the singles and the pairs judges want to see, because they have the same criteria for component scores that the singles and pairs have. So then they're looking to see power, speed, flow, and glide in regard to good skating. And that's, I think, a misconception that the ice dance judges want to see different things in terms of the skating skills of the ice dance community compared to the singles. And I think that now you no longer need to see the same kind of technique in ice dance, where it's different to the technique of the singles. Previously, when compulsory dances or pattern dances were a big fixture in the competition, then skaters had to bring their feet together closely with every turn. They had to have their hips tucked underneath much more, and the style was very recognizably different. It's less so now because we don't have compulsory dances.
There you go.
Anyway.
Okay, well done. You're within the minute.
I mean, I could go down. I mean, let's face
I know.
it, we know I could talk for
I'm glad
3 hours on
I'm
it.
just glad they called a minute. Right?
Too true.
Here we go, the start of the final event here on week one. It's been a great week. Some really good skating, some talent, and a lot of depth. Our first team represents Estonia, Xenia Sipanova and Miran Corrigan, coached by Lirand and Tavirand.
And Xenia and Miran using a theme of their own choice. All of the dancers in this free dance were free reign in their music choice, and that, for this team, will be the Bonnie and Clyde soundtrack. Ksenia Shipanova and Miran Koryagin representing Estonia, a couple that will have been disappointed to find themselves bottom of the pile after the rhythm dance, but I think that a great vehicle for them and the Bonnie and Clyde soundtrack. Oh gosh, they look understandably exhausted, but I didn't see any major mistakes. I hope they're okay.
Maybe he's hurt. He's got his hand on his back. I'm not sure. You could see him just holding his back.
Yeah, I hope they're okay. Because I thought it was otherwise a pretty good skate.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty clean skate for them.
That's tricky. Here, the twizzles, which they had problems with, they had a fall in the rhythm dance on this element, opening the program with the synchronized twizzles and level 4 for both, so safely through that element, which will have been huge relief. Here, a straight line lift. Miran in the difficult spread eagle position, a change of pose for Ksenia to secure. Again, level 4. And here, we look back at the step sequence. This another of the required elements in the free dance. And the technical panel just assessing how many of the difficult turns are performed cleanly, whilst also just checking in with the holds and the dance holds. This, a different type of step sequence, choreographic character step sequence, where the couple are doing all they can to try to push not just a good grade of execution, but also the composition of the program.
Interesting listening to the technical panel work right now. I mean, they're finished right now and they're just reading out the elements, but there was a question on something. I can't remember exactly what it was because I was listening to you at the same time, but the fact is they came back. Let's take another look at that. And as a group, they came to an easy conclusion. It was so well done. And this is, we hope in the future, when that'll be, I don't know, that people will be able to listen to the technical panel. Perhaps just in the calling of the program first, because that's pretty basic, but it's very interesting.
Absolutely. What a great job they do. And just following this performance, I'm worried to see Ksenia and Miran looking sad, because I want the best for everybody, and this team has been together for a couple of seasons, and just now it's taking that step forward, taking that movement up the rankings, and unfortunately this experience hasn't given them anywhere where they thought they would be. I think stylistically it's nice. Ksenia has lovely extension through her feet. She's got beautifully pointed toes. The team just needs to inject more power and more speed. And there were a couple of occasions just where they missed hold. So it's just being
it was
really
a little
clear.
bit scrambly. And the thing is that the athlete's desire to improve usually is, in many cases, not in all cases, is their image is faster than the process. The process takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes way more work than you think it'll take.
Right?
And
you know what this team needs to keep moving up the rankings and improving those component scores, just endless repetition of basic drill skating. The Bonnie and Clyde free dance is great. They've got a good vehicle, some good choreography. They just need to keep honing the depth of their edge and the speed and flow.
And they're still 16 and 19, and the top teams in the world are in their 30s.
Yeah.
So, you need to have a long time to learn all that you need to learn. But along the way, you can lose your patience with it. It's a lot of work. 63.18 for Ksenia and Miran. That is obviously first. They are the first team out with a 96.61 total competition score. Our next team represents Belgium, Mette van Molders and Robbie de Vos. She's 19, he is 16, just one competition in 2025. First time on the Junior Grand Prix.
Well, don't have to look far to guess what the music choice will be. Costume depicting soundtrack to The Mask. Well, what a brilliant choreographic character step sequence to conclude the free dance for Meta Vamoda and Robbie DeVos. I thought it was just so fun.
Interesting, there are 8 elements in this program, but 7 are under review. So the technical panel has a lot of work to do, and they see some things they need to relook at just to verify exactly, is it to requirement?
Yes, and as we've discussed a little bit in the rhythm dance and certainly through the free skating competitions, that the requirements for the dancers in terms of level, I think there's potentially more debate to be had on the tech panel.
Yeah.
And I wish right now I could just listen in.
Well, you can.
Well, I know, but we've got to talk about this
No,
brilliance.
it's okay. I'll yap on and do nothing. But, you listen. Mark is going to listen to the technical panel work, which is really interesting. We talked about that we're able to hear the technical panel go through the process of during the program and then obviously in the reviews as well, which helps us understand why they came up with the decision that they have. And it's really, it's transparency of the ISU, and it is so well done. I really want the world to be able to hear it because they're so good at what they do, and they're so accurate, based on one camera, one point of view, and keeping it consistent throughout the competition. They do a great job. Okay, there. Report back.
It's interesting because I think this is why, having listened in there to the panel, who are brilliant, as you have said, you've been listening perhaps a little bit more to me on the review process, Ted. The professionalism of the tech panel is just amazing, and the lack of lack of emotion that they bring to it, and in a way, in a very professional way, it's very matter of fact, it's very clear cut and clean.
It's objective, as much as it can be.
Yeah, and I was listening. I was looking at the diagonal step sequence in my head, counting the number of cleanly called turns, and this is where I know that maybe I'm not the right guy for tech panel stuff because I am too emotionally inclined to give.
Yeah, you'd be totally distracted.
I'd be level 4 for everybody.
The costumes and the music and all that stuff. And you can't do that on the technical panel. You have to be like a mathematician, like a scientist. You're looking and you're dissecting the program based on the criteria that is pounded into your brain. That's what you do on it. You have no idea what the program was about. So when you get to hear it, it's pretty impressive.
And I think also when we're talking about the diagonal step sequence, which I had mentally assigned levels to, and in my head I was thinking, oh, this is pretty good. I might give them a 2 or a 3. And the level 1 came up, and I think that's further confirmation of what we have discussed previously, whereby the level of clarity and depth of edge required for the dancers to have the higher level achievement in a step sequence is greater. We've been watching single skaters, and we've been watching pair skaters, and now in this dance event, maybe it's because that's an excuse.
Yeah.
My eyes have been watching single skaters, but the requirement for the clarity of turn is resolute for these dancers.
Yeah, it's investigated with a microscope compared to perhaps the singles, right? So, and now they're down on element number 6 of 8. This is why this is taking so long, because there are 8 elements, but 7 of them were under review. Now they finished number 6. Now they're going on to number 7, the rotation lift at the end of the program. They're looking at that right now. So, you'll see this in the juniors. You will not see that many reviews in the seniors, not because they're told not to, just because the teams are better and more clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think the score, I'm not sure what this team were hoping for. They competed in an ice dance Dordrecht event last week. They had a total of 100, just over 100 points. So I assume they'll be hoping for similar. Again, for us, because of our awareness of the longevity needed for ice dance, I see beyond whatever this result is and think they make a great team. They're captivating. She is just so enigmatic when she was doing the choreo character step at the end. They found a discipline that works for them. I think they're well suited to it. Yeah, it's just a long road.
Yeah, it's a long road. Here it is, 58.62 for the free dance, and that is second team out, 97.98 for the competition, total competition score, and that'll put them currently, for the moment at least, into first place. It's a long journey. We're just opening the door to that journey, so give yourself some time and some patience. Our next team represents Israel, Maria Nekieva and Dmitry Kravchenko.
And as I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, there are teams coming in with a whole different level of experience and time together. And this, the newest of partnerships, with just 4 months of training for Maria and Dmitry as they start their free dance to the Mask of Zorro. Maria Nagayeva and Dmitry Kravchenko representing Israel. Amazing that they have achieved this in such a short space of time.
Now, Mark's going to listen to the technical panel. Now, it was really interesting because there was the straight line lift that was called by the technical panel. And then he went kind of into a curve lift. They said, whoa, okay, let's review, right? They just stopped that element and waited for the review to determine what the difference is. And Mark, once he gets that information, we'll come back. Are you back yet?
The challenge for me is to be able to multitask and listen to you, listen to them, and be able to have
you're not
coherent
supposed
thought.
to listen to me. Did you mess that up?
A little bit.
Oh, boy. Anyways, they called a straight line lift. They went into a straight line lift, but then they carried the lift into a curve. So I'm not sure what they came up with in the end here.
Actually, the panel were very quick to make the reviews that they did make. So upon me finishing discussion at the end of their performance, the panel seemed to be really speedy in their assessment of what took place. And sometimes it's the case that the panel will be watching as we're watching now, and they've seen things in practice. So the official practices have given the panel the awareness of what's to come. So they'll have seen straight line lift in practice, and then perhaps there's a slight deviation, and it forces them to question things.
Good
Here,
point.
see, he started with a left forward outside edge in the spread eagle, but managed to straighten up.
And then right here, he put her down, I guess. Then she went, it looked like it was lifted. Okay, clearly that was a straight line lift.
I see what you mean. They perhaps thought it was going to become a combination lift.
Yeah, exactly. And it is in a level 4 straight line lift. There we go. Problem clarified.
And here now, as we look through the steps again, confirmation of what is the panel expecting in regards to the difficulty of the turns. Here, choreographic sliding movement, and what will happen for the technical panel is they will simply say confirm. Those elements, the choreographic elements, simply need confirmation from the technical panel. The judges do the majority of the work in giving the technical elements score.
There's no level of difficulty. There's just a level attached to it. Confirm, you get it, and then plus or minus GOE. Let's take a look at the scores. For Maria and Dmitry, 74.30. That is first in the free dance so far, and 114.84 for the competition. That'll put them, for the moment at least, into first place. Next up from Poland, Laura Belcheska and David Diachenko. 16 and 18 years of age, Poland junior silver medalist.
Laura was previously the advanced novice ice dance champion with a previous partner, but this team teamed up just last year. Well, we referenced the differences between the single skaters and the ice dancers, and certainly just the way in which David Diachenko there held his partner, the engagement of his hand. The dancers are generally so committed to the extension of their beings and their bodies.
That was a pretty big emphasis on generally.
They were, scared for the single skaters.
Yeah. I don't know them at all, but they seem to be a really good match.
Energetically?
Energetic, and I would say the same skating skills, and they seem to have a sort of a care, like a connection, we'll put it that way.
And I think it's important to note that, David was born in Kharkiv. He's had to relocate due to the war, and Laura and he have teamed up under the guidance of Sylvia and Maxime, and how wonderful that then we've got David there supported. What we sense and we see is that a good partnership and a good support network for each athlete, and we know from Sylvia that's definitely evident in what they offer.
A little hop into the twizzles, a little out of synchronization on that first set.
And in the free dance, the skaters can have between 2 and 4 steps between the first and second twizzle, which is different to the rhythm dance. And here, changing rotation is a feature within the dance spin. And we see now, I think the first team to have done a combination lift. You can either do 2 short lifts or a combination whereby the partner isn't placed down in between, as evidenced here. So that will come in as a straight line with a rotational lift feature there when David rotated on 1 foot.
Level 4 in both. Good.
And now, just looking at the step sequence here, what do the panel think of the difficult turns? We'll look through. There's the twizzle from David, and this, one of their choreographic elements, 2 choreographic elements for junior ice dance teams, and they chose to do choreographic spinning movement to finish their free dance.
As we still continue to hear the discussion.
Oh,
with the
do we? Oh,
panel.
I'm going to turn it back up then.
Oh, gotta pay attention, will you? Come on.
Isn't it fascinating?
Yes, it's great. They do an amazing job.
But I have to turn them off because I can't multitask. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
obviously not good enough at it. But it is so interesting to hear the analysis, because it's important to note that all of these teams are likely going for the same levels as the seniors that you'll see competing for Olympic gold. It's, the teams here will be going for level 4, and they'll construct, the 1 foot turns as an element. You have to do 4 different difficult turns. They will be doing the same kind of content as Chalk and Bates, the world champions. It's just the clarity and the definition which will dictate the level, and we can expect to see obviously higher level for your world champions, but it's interesting there to just get a snippet of an insight into what expectations there are from the tech panels in the level assignment for those elements. But I had to turn them off. You're obviously far better at multitasking than I am, Ted.
No.
Or you just can, or maybe you just drown me out. Maybe that's what it is.
When you're talking, I can turn you down and I can listen to the technical panel. It's a lot easier, right? But it's so interesting, and we're learning a lot and bringing some of that information to you, and hopefully in the future you'll be able to hear some of that. 68.44 for the free dance for Laura and David. That is second in the free dance with a total competition score 109.34, and that'll put them currently for the moment into second place.
And Sylvia, she's been a tech spec, this coach, so many of the coaches watching, they know what's happening.
Sure they do.
They've already got a fair assessment of what will take place in the results.
They've studied it, that's for sure. Our next team represents Germany, the twins, Aniko and Zorad Kobar.
And Aniko and Zohar need 70 points to maintain their position, but they will be looking to move upward. They had some mistakes in the rhythm dance. Their free dance set to the music of Skyboat Song and Dance of the Druids.
Sing me a song of the last that is gone. Say, could that last be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over sea to sky. Billow and breeze, islands and seas, mountains of
Mark, you must have felt right at home. The music from Outlander, the series. I love that series, and I love the music.
Yeah, great music, great costuming, and great musicality and phrasing for the elements for the brother and sister pairing of Enika Kobar and Zohar Kobar. And they will be delighted to have successfully skated the free dance, having had the mistake on the twizzles. That was a tough rhythm dance that they had. This much, much stronger, and I really appreciated the musicality by Robin Tweedale, the choreographer of this performance.
I wish you could hear the music again.
And I remember vividly being told by a coach when I was a very young skater that if you turn the music off, you should still be able to guess and assess the kind of style or the storytelling that is being played. And you could see with the kind of Celtic dance movement there, that's evident.
Costume gives it away.
Costume's a pretty big, pretty big giver. And here you can see the 1 foot dismount. A little bit close to the boards there. And interestingly, this team, I thought they were really strong with their twizzling. They looked confident and comfortable with twizzles, and that's why perhaps they chose to make one of their choreographic elements choreographic twizzles. You don't often see that as the choice of the choreographic elements. They did it well. And here, you can really see the interpretation. Good use of blade to use the heels and toes. That plays into part of the skating skills as well for the judges' criteria. As we see, again, heels and toes used before. In fact, it was heels and toes throughout there, really. And then closing with the rotational lift. The man needing to work through 6 rotations, at least if they're going for that level 4. It's coming as a level 3. As we see them attempt to do the difficult exit for a further level feature.
Nice. That was fun.
Yeah, really enjoyable. And I mean, I mentioned in the warm-up about what the judges want to see for ice dancers, and I said that skating skills ultimately shouldn't be judged differently from singles to dance. You do though see, stylistically more refinement bodily from the ice dancers, I think, than the single skaters. And I think Eniko and Zohar will continue to work on refining the way in which they hold their bodies, the way in which they engage their core muscles to create a bolder, stronger aesthetic on the ice.
Well, the personal best score last season, 74.86. This is a 76.37, so there's an improvement there. And that is first in the free dance, and a 120.48 total score for the competition as they take over the lead, 2 groups to come. But that was much better than the rhythm dance and showed their ability and their skills for the future.
Okay, so what we need to do now, Ted, is in our the fact that we are now so fortunate to be able to listen into the technical panels. What I'd love now is if we could go back and review and listen again to what they were saying, because it's just such a fascinating process, as you've said. And, you've referenced it more than I have through the course of the past 3 days whilst we've been here in Riga. And I think for me now, I had considered doing the exams and the study to become a technical specialist years ago. Life took me otherwise, and I elected not to go for that. And so now, just listening into a panel again, it's been years since I last listened in a headset, and it's just fascinating.
But you said that you couldn't multitask, so you have to be able to multitask. No, it is, I was fortunate enough to be involved in the development of this system and the training of this system. And when the exams and the education, the seminars were put together in Frankfurt every summer to watch the process they have to go through, I thought, my gosh, are we going to have anybody that wants to do this? Because it's so difficult. It's so hard. And not every personality. There are some people that are excellent at dance. They're excellent. They understand it. They know the detail, but they were not well matched for the teamwork that you need to have on that technical panel. And when you hear the audio of the teamwork, you go, I trust this. There are 3 people that are completely focused only on the technical elements and only on the precise criteria that they were given through the eye and the lens of one camera. And it is so well done. I'm always impressed. Now, having said that, and I'm not talking about dance only, is artificial intelligence will improve the accuracy of the math, like the number of rotations on a jump, for instance, when you leave the ice and when you come back to the ice. So, Chapter 2 is yet to be written, and that will come, of course, after the Olympic Games. But, and I'm hoping, and we're working towards that people could access that when they want, or that we could present it periodically so people could say, wow, it's really cool the way they do it.
Yeah, so fascinating. And you were referencing the teamwork necessary, and I think that's a really interesting concept regarding teamwork on a technical panel, because obviously ice dancers have to work together and pair skaters have to work together in a team, but a lot of the participants of our sport at elite level tend to be somewhat selfish. It's a solo sport where you have to focus your life on being the best you can be, and it's interesting listening to the panel, having to be a team player and having to lose any sense of ego, because if you make a call as a technical specialist and the two other members of the panel decide to say review, you have to have no ego in accepting, okay, my decision may not be right in the eyes of another.
If you can sniff out any ego on that team as they're going through it, or with an individual as they're going through the examination, generally it doesn't work out. You have to be a team member and understand what your role is on that team to be efficient and to be accurate.
Yeah, and you know, we've spoken over the course of this competition already about the different opportunities for these skaters. All of the skaters on the ice now, they've devoted years of their young lives to this. What can they do with the future of their sport? And I've spoken about show skating as an opportunity, but again, show skating is so egotistical, it's so performance orientated, it's all about selling and selling and selling. And then you've got this wonderful opportunity to travel the world, potentially being a technical specialist, helping the future competitive skaters, and you have to be free, completely free of your own performance and your own ego.
Yeah, totally. You get it. Well said. Now what?
Now, I was just going to talk about why people should do it, because we've just said, you know, why you maybe shouldn't. But when I've spoken to technical specialists, I know some that they obviously really love being on a panel, and I think the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that.
And think about that, Mark. When you are on the technical panel at Olympic Games,
that
is your
goodness.
Olympic. You're not an Olympic athlete, most likely, and that is your Olympic moment. And the responsibility is massive.
Yep.
And that teamwork has to be completely in sync. And I know because we were on the panels in the first Olympic Games in Torino that used this system, and I was the data input operator that we had, built around the system, and the stress level in which they went through. But they were so well trained, and there wasn't so many in those days. So the technical specialists got a lot of competitions during the year, so they were really in it. There are many technical specialists around the world now, so they don't have as many opportunities, right? At least internationally, domestically, of course, they do. So,
And yeah, gosh, could you imagine the level of responsibility and pressure? And I know, like I said, the technical specialists that I know that love it, they relish the adrenaline that this job gives them, because, it's high pressure.
That was probably the most tense moment of my career, one of them anyways, is being on that panel, because we had designed and worked it, and then we had to execute it at the Olympic Games in Torino under the eyes of everyone. Anyways, it all worked out. Here we go.
Moving on.
Exactly. Our next team represents the United States. Michelle Deish and Ryan Hugh, 18 and 17 years of age, second Junior Grand Prix season. Mark?
And this team coming off the Lake Placid International Competition and also a fourth place finish, as you say, at the Junior National Championships in America. They will skate to the Vivaldi and Max Richter version of Four Seasons.
You know, those iconic pieces of music that are done so often. It's, you know, we talked about this a little earlier this week. It's so hard to sort of hit something special. Now, it wasn't through the whole program, but I thought they did a really good job of this piece.
Yes, and immediately at the opening of the program, I was just so conscious and aware of the increased depth of edge, the better use of blade and ankle on each of the strokes, and that just put them in a different category for me from a component's perspective. So energetic, and Ryan as well. He was just impassioned in each of the arm movements and head movements as well, which was wonderful.
You felt this is all strings, and you felt they were strings.
Yeah.
For some reason, the choreography and the movements had matched the instrument.
And that's entirely the embodiment of the music which the judges are going to judge upon. And I think for me there was perhaps a mild hesitation towards the beginning, but that has to be based upon surely the experience yesterday in the rhythm dance. That torrid fall, just so awkward and uncomfortable, and the way that they have come back from this is a testament to their training. And here you see the way in which they have bookended the program, same start position to finish position. And this, the stationary lift. Look at the way in which Michelle elegantly expresses with her arms. Here, the 1 foot turns.
And I wanted to show you, watch the arms. I think they got very close. Oh, maybe not. Oh, right there. You could see her sort of push away a little bit.
Did
right?
they touch?
I think so.
Oh, well, that will have an impact. They're not. It's 1 foot turns.
I can't say for sure.
Okay.
But
We'll go on the.
it looked like they did.
Well, Aaron, the favor of the skater that they did it.
Yeah.
Here you can see again in terms of body awareness, you can just see the increased extension commitment right through the calf and the quadricep muscles, engaging, making clearer line than that which we have seen from the others so far. This choreographic slide was great, opportunity for some storytelling and some engagement between the partners, and I think that had a greater grade of execution from the judges as a result of that. And I thought here, I just felt like Ryan let loose, and I was like, oh, phew, we're safely through so far the biggie elements, just a rotational lift to go, and allowing himself to really go for it in terms of the commitment to the expression. And that final element. And I thought also here you can see the push. He's trying to cover more ice. That's a positive feature for the judges for a higher grade of execution, trying to accelerate through the rotational lift to push the GOE higher.
I think I put in too many replays. I can hear them ready for the scores.
Oh.
They're waiting on our replays. Here we go.
Tough finish position to control too.
Yeah, not easy, but well done. Scores are 85.97. That is first in the free dance for Michelle and Ryan.
Great redemption.
With a 130.64 total competition score as they take over the lead. Nice program. Nice skaters. Nice scores.
Great redemption from that rhythm dance frustration. Well done.
Our next team represents Finland, 15-year-old Iris Lahti and 19-year-old Aksari Lidenpoja.
This a team that will be vying to secure that minimum technical element score for the Junior World Championships. There's another factor for them when they head to their start position, to the music, Some Things I'll Never Know, and Lose Control.
Walking down the street last night, watching strangers pass me by. Where do all our shadows go? I guess some things I'll never know. I can fool my senses for a little while, but some things are too hard to reconcile. When I look into your eyes, there's no answers I can find. It's a feeling that I've never known. When I'm wide awake tonight, running circles in my mind, there's an answer I can't find. When did your heart let me go? some dance I'll never know. Something's got a hold on me lately, though I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in, and the devil's knocking at my door. Out of my mind, how many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? Yeah, it's taking a toll on me, trying my best to keep from tearing the skin off my bones. Don't you know you're not next to me? I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? Baby, I'm not your man. If you can't see me looking dead in my eyes, you don't have to say it, baby. I understand. Instead, I'm not your man. I'm not your man. This how you change.
Iris Latia and Oskari Leidenpoja representing Finland. And Ted, I can't believe that this is the first partnership for Iris. I mentioned in the rhythm dance
Wow.
that she's competed in solo dance competitions. And this is a really good advert then for the opportunity that solo dance gives, because Iris comes into this partnership really strong and solid in her own right. And interestingly, she actually comes away with pretty high levels in her own right within the step sequence. So she has a midline step coming in at a level 3, which is impressive, and a level 2 in the 1 foot turns. And there's no mean feat. That doesn't take.
And you know what? I like the music, and I like the storytelling, and I like the emotion of some of the choreography by between them.
Yes,
That, with not much experience, I thought they did a nice job with this.
absolutely. And this team had a strong rhythm dance in an event which was littered with mistakes. So it's going to be hard for them, I think, to stay above those that have competed already, particularly the American team of Michelle and Ryan. But here, a little look back at the combination lift. This is their choreo slide. And here you just see that little stumble there from Oskari coming up. And that's judges want to see smooth and our effortless transitions in and out of the elements. Here, the twizzles. And as they spend more time together, you'll get to see that increased clarity of match in each position. So here, working through the choreo step sequence, because they are such a new partnership, their fundamental crossovers that they do, there are a couple of forwards crossovers and the skid, their leg lines aren't totally matched. They haven't found a synonymity in the way that they move yet. But that's to be expected. Given that they're such a new partnership.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with all the things that they're missing because they haven't been together very long, there's still something that is already there. And it's a connection between the two of them. And I don't want to get better as their skating skills get matching and improve together as the partnerships has more time.
And being there with Neil, who's, the Finnish ice dance is progressing rapidly with Turkia, Verslus, Orahara, Pirinen, so they're in a great stable to see where they can progress forward.
70.56 for the free dance. That's fourth with a total competition score of 116.93. And that'll put Iris and Oskari currently into third place. Our next team represents Switzerland, Serena Scharner and Lauren Whitaker.
And we saw their coach just before the event. I asked for some information. She said, "Oh, just wait and see." So, can't wait to see this inspiring free dance movement-wise for Serena and Loreen. Serena Scharner and Loreen Wiedeker representing Switzerland. And a big hug, big embrace shared between the team. And as I mentioned before they took to the ice, their coach Alyssa explained, just wait to see some of the shapes that they make. And that final choreo slide, so difficult, particularly at the end of the program. Such clean, exciting visuals that they make. And what a testament to the coach and the skaters for embracing a theme and a concept and making it clearly portrayed throughout each of the 7 elements within their free dance. And just 2 of the elements under review by the technical panel. I absolutely love the start position and then this complexity and intricacy to open the program. This was great too, the armography before entering into the twizzle. Such difficulty in choice of movement. Looked particularly fresh on this opening element. As we look through the 1 foot turns, a rocker turn there, back 3 turn into an inside bracket, and finishing with the easiest and most callable of the 4 turns within a 1 foot turn sequence, the twizzle. And here twizzles within the diagonal step sequence before the combo lift of curve lift and rotational lift. Both of those have been assigned a comfortable level 4, as is often the case. Level 4 commonly given out. And again, when most of the teams achieve the same level, then the technical element score comes down more to the judges on their grade of execution, and they're looking for smooth, effortless elements and looking for elements that enhance the choreography and our character of the music. And you can see as they clasp their hands together in front whether or not that's showcasing this thing that they had, the choreo slide. I mean, how they came up with that idea, just brilliant. And that
I like that program. How about you?
yeah,
I really did.
and I love the creativity, and that is something that has to be rewarded by the judges. They will give extra positive features when there's creative movement.
Well, they have a 79.65. That'll put them second in the free dance with a total competition score of 126.68. So they take over second at this stage of the competition. Our next team represents Great Britain, Ashley Slater and Louis Gregory. Ashley's 16, Louis is 20, a new team in 2025.
Yeah, completely a new partnership, one with an abundance of experience and one new to this ice dance discipline. And they will skate to the music top hat for their free dance.
Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue on that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air, high hats and arrow collars, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time? If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Put it on the Ritz.
Now, Mark, you just told me off the air, because I did not know this before. This young man who came from singles, he's only been dancing for a couple months or for a few number of months. That is extraordinary. The challenge from singles to pairs is easier than singles to dance. He looks like a dancer already.
Yeah, and it's just amazing what has been accomplished in such a short space of time. And also, the program choreography, the composition of this program was so intricate. I was mindful of the different holds, perfectly fitting the top hat theme and style they've gone for. But Philippa Tyler-Green hasn't made it easy for them because it was complex and intricate, and they were intertwined, which is brilliant. But it makes you appreciate all the more how well Louis has done to embrace skating with somebody else so closely.
I mean,
great piece of choreography.
I would not have known that. Here's the twizzles, good speed, good unison actually. Where are we dealing with a level 4 for her, level 3 for him?
And you can see in the slow motion just that Louis, stylistically, he's not quite totally aligned to the ice dancer kind of stylization, and Ashley, understandably, has more clarity of body control, but she's way more experienced. And if you think what he's achieved in this space of time, it's exciting to consider what he's going to be able to achieve. Do you know what he does have, though? He's got a bit of swagger. He's like there. He's cool. I think he's perfectly suited to ice dance.
He's not afraid of the expression of dance. He embraces it. And that is a good transition for him. See the curve lift here into the rotational level 3 on both lifts.
And what's interesting to note and what we can see from the judges' input on the component scores is that the composition of this is highest. And I really think it's Philippa, one of their coaches, that choreographed alongside Mathieu Gieffre. I'm not sure what input Mathieu had, whether it was this or the rhythm dance, but choreo was really on point for the top hat. And as is that positioning just there. And the expression. Oh yeah, he's got swagger. He's just there, pulling his hair back.
But I think he likes this.
Yeah.
I do, and you can see it. If a single skater goes into dance, they go, I'm kind of here because I was told to go here, and you can see that in the body action. It's not the case here.
No. And now I suppose like temperament. He seems perfectly suited for it. Now with time, I suppose they've had to get together so quickly. They've had to spend presumably most of their time just getting choreography ready in anticipation of competing here.
How old is it? Oh, he's 20, but he's lucky later in life because he looks 14 right now. 75.75 for Ashley and Louis, and that is fourth in the free dance, and 124.86, and that'll put them currently in third place. And just a few months into ice dancing for this young man who's a single skater, that's extraordinary. And congratulations.
To the whole team.
Yes. Our next team represents Ukraine, 14-year-old Tetiana Bidanova and 18-year-old Ivan Kucher.
And they aggressively skating onto the ice, powerfully pushing towards their presentation as they now assume their start position for the music to Survivor and Avenges for Endgame. such an amazing contrast in the performances of these free dances as Tatiana Bieladonova and Ivanka Shur complete their Survivor free dance. We've seen Vivaldi classical, we've seen ballroom-esque stylization from the British team that have just performed this stark contrast. There were some incredibly complex transitions and difficult features and the exits and entries to some of the elements. I think it just started to fatigue and get a little bit scrappy laterally in the program, so we'll see how that impacts the scores. And so much difficulty and complexity, and you can extract in this ice dance competition highlight moves from each of the teams, and there were moments within Tatiana and Ivan's program that were quite brilliant. This difficult opening, and here difficult entry into the twizzles as well. But in terms of clarity, just not totally aligned in their body movement or in the relationship and distance between each other. This, again, so difficult. Difficult entry into the upside down and difficult hold within the straight line lift. Here, good shot from Ivan within the step sequence. Again, the technical panel looking to see how many of these difficult turns are callable. And here the choreographic character step sequence. You can just see looking a little less refined at that stage in the program. And a great save from Ivan there in avoiding a mandatory 1 point deduction for a fall as he helped Tatiana to stay afloat. So it's a Junior Grand Prix debut for Tatiana and Ivan. And great to see them shaping hard. So glad to be here. So proud to represent their country.
She's just 14
here.
years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. The score is 75.48. It is fifth in the free dance with a total competition score of 126.51. And that'll put them currently into third place with 5 teams to come. Well, there you go, Mark. The end of group number 2 with one final group to come up.
And we've got a pretty clear and decisive leaders at this point. Michelle and Ryan from the United States of America. They had that torrid rhythm dance. I wonder if they have done enough, if they can put themselves into contention to moving within the top 5 after the free dance. We will have to stay tuned to find out.
We'll find out. We're going to take a short break during the ice resurfacing as you take a look at the standings so far. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga, Latvia for the final warm-up group of the Riga Cup 2025. We have now seen the winners crowned in the men's, women's and pairs disciplines, and all that remains to be decided is this ice dance competition as we see the Austrian siblings warming up in anticipation of their free dance to come. Thank you to those that have been supportive of this live stream, sending in your comments, your questions and your support of us in the broadcasting team, and also for the athletes as well. Questions coming in. One from @Laura Eldori. Doesn't it cut the man who lifts the woman when she stands on him with her blades? And so throughout the course of the event, we saw both in the pairs and in the ice dance competition when the woman will be lifted, as described, to place her blade on the thigh of the man. And whilst it has the potential to cut, it generally is only if there is friction and a mistake is it likely to pierce the skin. It's not too common, and certainly when we see skaters at this part of the season, they will only be using lifts which they are comfortable and confident with. And so from my experience, I tend not to get too bruised after a week or so of doing that kind of lift.
Okay. I was off headset and I heard half the sentence. I'm going, what is he talking about?
Where is he going with this?
Yeah. Okay, final group.
Final grip. Final.
I have to say to the people listening from around the world, and I guess it's hard to sort of appreciate this, but to be in the environment of Junior Grand Prix is, we've said it before, it's such an honor, and it is, and a special moment, I think, for us. We both love this job, and because we have a passion for the sport and for the people, but it's a family.
Yes.
It's a family of people. When you speak to the parents, many of them coaches as well of their kids, when you hear the stories of what they go through, we see the finished product, or, not the finished product, but the journey that they're on, and they're on the ice. They look great. They're competing, the whole thing. But it's extraordinary, the stories of what they have to do, where they have to go, what they have to pay to be involved in their passion in life.
And there's such huge monumental sacrifices, and when we speak now to the live stream broadcast, we're not sure who listens in with an avid understanding of what it takes. For those that have been competitive elite skaters, they will be so mindful of all of the sacrifices made to get to this level.
And to me, one of the people that hit me the most are the moms and dads.
Yeah.
When we meet them and we speak to them, and we can agonize, not the journey, because they love their kids no matter what, but they're at home, they're helpless. And when their kids get to this age, the kids like to break away a little bit, and they need to. They have to be independent, because you're asking a person to take center ice in front of thousands of people, okay, hundreds here, but in the big rink, thousands of people, and do your job by yourself. So the sooner that your children can learn to be independent and strong in those moments by themselves, the better. And it must be so hard on the parent, because you're having to let them go at the same time you're watching them pursue high performance. And it's not easy.
Yeah, and I suppose as we look at the leaders on screen now, Dania and Theo, this is the age in which conventionally teenagers start to be a little bit rebellious. They start to go against the influence of the parents who have raised them, and that's where the parents, it's so hard for these parents, because they will be spending so much money on supporting their children whilst perhaps being aggrieved with the teenagers that they're dealing with.
I have a question here, Mark.
Oh.
At that age, were you rebellious? It's not a real question. It's
Ah.
just coming from me.
You know what? I was actually, I don't think that I was, but I was also
Your mum and dad are
very
probably listening right
independent. No. I was very, very independent, and I'm fortunate that I had amazing parents that gave me the wings to survive on my own. But I think from a very early age, I was pretty independent.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. That's great.
Yeah. My
What do you
parents are
mean?
cool.
Yeah, okay. They are, because I met them. They're
Yeah.
really cool. Despite the kid. But anyways.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't be perfect.
Where are we?
And so opening this final group, Anita Straub and brother Andreas Straub, a team that have been just off the podium before. They were fourth in Ostrava last year. Can they do enough to climb up from fifth place after the rhythm dance to take a medal here in Riga, skating to Amelie by Jan Thiersen.
I love that music. It's charming.
We both share the sentiment towards the Amelie soundtrack. Just beautiful music, so clear in its beat and its rhythm, offering a perfect soundtrack to this skater's choreography. And Anita and Andreas, I think this is, for me, Ted, where, again, I could never be in a panel because I feel like for the 4 years, now the fourth year that I've joined you in this Junior Grand Prix, I feel like we've seen them growing up. We've kind of been on the journey with them. So then I think, oh, no, I want them to get a medal. They deserve a medal, so I can't see beyond.
You do get
connection.
you get attached to. I wouldn't say any one or team or whatever, but you get attached to all these juniors because you see them early on, the passion, they love the purity of them participating, and as they grow and things change and they go up and down, it's just really wonderful to be part of that life or be part of this family.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know it seems silly, but these headbands that you're seeing now, they've become a factor. The seniors normally get them, and you can see from Anita the excitement, as we've seen from others, the excitement that, oh my goodness, I have, the person that creates these for the skaters knows me now. They're willing to create one for me. They know the costume colours that I've got. It's all part of the experience.
Did they give you one?
Well, I suppose I need a costume. Maybe that's... And here, I look back at the Twizzles. As much as I'm just saying all that I've said about how desperately keen I am for them to have success, I have to acknowledge there was a little bit of a mismatch and a bit of a... By the way, I'm not sure if it'll be a level 4.
They're both in at 4.
Happy
Yep,
days.
they're both in at 4.
See, on that occasion, I was maybe going to be stricter than the panel. That's not normal. And here we see the
Little
straight line
rough
left.
getting into the final position, a little bit off balance here, but not a big deal.
Yeah, and that's that GOE, that creative execution criteria. Judges wanted to see, as I mentioned earlier, unique or creative choreographic movements to help bolster the grade of execution. So they see that in the choreo slide just delivered. As we look now to the dance spin. And the couple hitting their difficult features for level. And as ever, as is always the case, the teams just need to continue to push for greater ice coverage, speed, flow and glide, being deeper into their knees and their ankles to facilitate pushing those components ever higher. As Galina joins them in the kiss and cry.
Pretty impressed with those. Are they real flowers?
No, they're not real, but
Okay.
they're given in with the colours of the skater's costume.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's
so
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and I don't think we've seen it on the junior rank. So
no, we haven't. I've never seen that.
So that's I see it on the seniors. So I forget the name of the lady who makes them. She's contacted me, I think, on social media. Big shout out to her. She creates these and gifts them to the skaters, and so often we'll see the seniors wearing and adorning these. And now,
Oh, nice.
the juniors, who presumably have seen that, and the seniors will be so proud that they've made the cut. To have some.
Yeah, exactly. 83.92. That is second for Anita Hernandez in the free dance with a total competition score of 136.11. And that'll put them, for the moment, into first place. Our next team represents France. Lou Koch and Luca Chatino. 18 and 20 years of age, a new team this season, Mark.
And they are finding themselves in a group with so many other more experienced teams who have had partnerships lasting much longer. This team have done incredibly well to find themselves in this position after the rhythm dance. Well, Lukas and Lucas Chatigneau, I mean, we were a reference before they started the program how well they've done to find themselves in this position because they've been together much less time than others. But they bring to it, at 18 and 20 years old, such maturity, and it's hard to do tango.
Well, and that's kind of a dark tango.
But I mean, I was brought in. I
so was
bought
I.
it.
No. Because it captures you, like that's when you say dark in a good way. I mean, the word dark doesn't sound good, but
and I think it's testament to individual skating skills that you bring to a partnership. From the two back crossovers at the opening of the program, you could tell they have been trained under the same tutelage. They haven't been together long, but they've had the same coaches individually, and they had the same technique, the same deep knees and ankles, so that justifies the good components that they are going to receive. In fact, indeed the best. And that was so difficult, the entry, to generate the rotation from the layback that she did just before this twizzle. I love the fact that they didn't do a Group C third twizzle feature. They did a single twizzle just with musicality here. That wasn't a feature. It was just a little bit of nuance. As we see the camel feature for Lucas. Really enjoyed it. And a really good advert, not just for their coaches, but also I think for the theatre on ice that I'm sure that they've been involved in, which has instilled in them a musical understanding and a thematic awareness. So you can see the hold of the arms as they embraced the concept within the 1 foot turns, not just getting the turns done, but maintaining the concept in their presentation.
And that is a lift that's odd, for somebody who doesn't know anything about skating. The fact that she had both blades off the ice, it was a lift, but it doesn't look like a lift because it looks like she's got her feet on the ice, but she doesn't.
Interestingly, though, based on that, the choreo slide at the end of the program and currently has no value, and I did hear a review.
You should have listened.
I know, gosh. Their fingertips are gracing the ice. What justifies that as a choreo slide hasn't been deemed achieved by the tech panel, so they have lost a couple of points there. At least maybe 2.5 to 3 points. Look at that intensity. As Mahil Chantelouse joins them in the kiss and cry. What a great job he's doing with Karine Villard-Ballon.
The score is 83.74 for Lou and Lucas. That is third in the free dance, with a competition score of 138.22, so that puts them into first place with 3 teams to come. Our next team represents the United States of America. 18-year-old Jasmine Robertson and 17-year-old Chase Roner. This is their first international competition of note.
Jasmine and Chase assume their start position for the music to Notre Dame de Paris.
C'est une histoire qui a pour lieu, car il avait le nom de Dieu, 1482, histoire d'amour et de désir. Les artistes anonymes, la sculpture de la rue, tenteront de vous la transcrire pour les siècles à venir. Il est venu le temps des cathédrales, d'entrer dans un nouveau millénaire, pas voulu monter vers les étoiles.
Well, Jasmine Robertson and Chase Roner from the United States of America deserve an apology from me, Ted, because I've referenced how the majority of the couples in this warm-up group have all been together for a prolonged time. Jasmine and Chase actually just teamed up in January of this year. And it's amazing
I
to
would
see
have
what they have done.
I would have never guessed that. What was interesting for me, let alone the technical side, is the emotional connection between the two, plus the two between the music.
Yes, yes. And
They're connected.
they did say after the rhythm dance to Golden Skate yesterday that their mission here was to skate their hearts out. And actually, I'd heard from the couple that Jasmine loves the freedom of skating and that it clears her mind when life gets stressful. And I thought, what a wonderful approach to embracing our sport. That's her mentality. And interestingly, Chase had said that ordinarily he's a quiet person, doesn't like the spotlight, but something about skating makes all of that go away. And so you're seeing, people that like the piece of skating and like to allow skating to embrace a character in them that isn't always evident. That split jump entry into the Twizzles was fab. Loved that on the music. Now, the 1 foot turns of Jasmine coming in at level 3, so that rocker turn likely to be called clean. And here, forward inside bracket, changing edge, and a forward inside twizzle to conclude the 1 foot turns. So we see the curve lift, change of pose, the level feature choice. And Jasmine and Chase, whilst they're obviously now so new as a team in the junior ranks, coming from a skating nation which had 3 teams out of the top 7 at the Junior World Championships in ice dance earlier this year. So they come from a strong skating nation, and they wanted to put themselves, well, I believe they're putting themselves now in contention to be in the next generation of that successful field as we see the choreo slide that concluded the program. The commitment to the finish. Pasquale Carbalengo joins them. What an illustrious coaching staff they have alongside Pasquale, Igor Spielban, Natalie Deller, and Adrian Linda.
90.92 for Jasmine and Chase. That is first of the free dance with a total competition score of 147.83. They take the lead with 2 teams to come. They're on the podium.
Remarkably chilled about it.
Yeah, pretty calm and cool. They're wearing a big smile, which is great. Our next team represents Canada, 19-year-old Leila Veliant and 20-year-old Alexander Brandy, second after the rhythm dance.
They too will skate to music by Max Richter, Summer for Leila and Alexander. Lila
Wow.
Bélan, Alexander Brandis.
That was beautiful. Magical.
And I love music to movement. We all love music to movement, but when the movement makes sense of the music, or the music makes sense of the movement when they're at one, and the choreo character step was just so precise, and the music was the perfect backdrop for that accuracy staccato movement, and it was just fabulous.
And that 1 foot steps, one almost.
Like, just made it really easy for the judges to start high in the components when they start with an element delivered like that. This. Also, love how Layla looks so intensely at the judging panel. So this element really leans into a different component. This is presentation, whereas the 1 foot was skating skills. And here, good ice coverage too throughout the twizzles as well. So hard to do, as they had the left back outside twizzle continuing to cover the ice, and then the Group C feature at the end. That could put pressure on taking the title. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really well done. I mean, no matter what the score is, no matter what the placement, I think obviously it'll be at the podium, but.
And it does seem like, as I think I mentioned in the rhythm dance, they've had a bronze medal in the Junior Grand Prix before, but they seem renewed with winner-type energy.
Yeah, totally, yeah. 97.67, and they are thrilled with that number. That's first in the free dance so far with a total score of 161.83. And you're right, that might put a little pressure on the next team who is in the lead. The final team, the leaders after the rhythm dance, Danya Moedan and Tio Bijot.
This team comes into the free dance with just 0.2 of a point margin above the Canadians that lead currently. They will skate to Nature Boy and Bad Guy.
There was a very strange enchanted boy. They said he wandered very far, very far.
Daniel Mwadna and Theo Bijot celebrate the conclusion of their free dance, and I'm so happy to see that reaction from the team. They said how delighted they were after the rhythm dance to find themselves in first place, and they've managed to deliver a clean skate despite the pressure. And we're seeing kind of the changing of the guard, new season, new teams. Of course, we've got 6 more events to go, but Dania, Theo against Leila and Alexander, who's going to take gold in this event?
Yeah, it looks ever so close as we see the numbers coming in.
Ooh, gosh.
Very, very close, and it's not done yet, so it keeps switching back and forth a little bit. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can see gold and silver, the gold and silver.
Yeah.
Wow. There, the straight line left and the punctuation of the music with her legs as the dismount came to take place. And you can see, one of the reasons that teams like this find themselves in the lead after rhythm dances thanks to this great knee bend, that depth of knee and ankle. So here, that circular step sequence was a huge pattern. As we see the rotational lift, gorgeous leg line extension of the left leg from Dania. And then here their choreo character step with Bad Guy. And you can see commitment to the concept. And I think we've got to acknowledge, Ted, that these wonderful skaters were forced to endure somebody being a troll to them online on YouTube yesterday, which is a hideous concept when you see how wonderful and beautiful these two young humans look.
Well, some people, those trolls, don't have much going on in their life. So they, it's horrible, but that's the world now.
And we can just take a moment to speak about how brilliant and beautiful Dania and Theo look.
Yeah.
And silence any trolls and tell them not to dare enter into our YouTube chat again, or comments again. Oh my goodness, we can see how close this is.
Wow.
What the two top teams need to know is that they have both delivered clean skates.
Yeah.
And they've done their job, and now they'll get the feedback, as we've said, throughout this event from the technical panel. Okay, it's just changed again a little bit less close.
And they'll be able to take a look at where do they lose a few tenths of a point that makes a difference, or
yeah, so the things have just been reviewed by the technical panel, and what was 0.02 of a difference between the top two teams has now changed. And I actually think that that's probably better for both parties. I think if I was whoever's going to come second, as we'll soon find out, would rather be second by more than 0.02 of a point. That's a bit challenging to accept.
Yeah, but they'll be able to take a look in the report card and understand why.
Yes.
What happened on what element or what component. Where did we miss out on this? Because both were brilliant. Both really, essentially in a situation like that, you kind of want to tie it.
Yes.
But that's not the way the sport is anymore. So that's let's take a look.
Coach Barbara Piton, their longtime coach.
95.78. That is second in the free dance with a total competition score of 160.13, and that puts them second overall. So there's a switch we don't see a lot, and they look happy with that. They're pleased, so they should be, because that was a brilliant performance. It's ever so close. They still have the 13 points moving towards the final, so that's okay. And as Leila Delian and Alexander Brandes of Canada move up from second to first, and we don't often see that. We do sometimes.
And great. For me, as much as I enjoyed Dania and Theo, the Canadian free dance was definitely the free dance of the event for me from a composition and presentation perspective particularly.
Yeah. Wow, that's exciting.
Ah, that was fun.
That was fun. Fun event. Hey, you know what? Week number 1's over now.
Oh, yeah.
There's a look at the final standings. Delian and Brandes take the title. Moden and Bijot come second. Robertson and Roner from the United States are in third, taking the bronze home. And a look there at the rest of the field. Okay, wow, that's incredible. Look, we are now going to stay online here for you to watch the medal ceremonies of the two events today, the men's event and the ice dance, in which we've just seen. It takes a village for all of these things to happen, and our crew is here. I don't think we have 8 or 9 on our production crew, let alone the Swiss timing, let alone the ISU staff, Veland, of course, as well, and all the judges and the local volunteers have done such a wonderful job, and we thank them so much. Your closing comments, Mark?
Just incredibly grateful to all of the skaters and their teams as well, because without them doing the hard work throughout the off-season and indeed their entire careers, we wouldn't be able to enjoy what we just spectated over the past year.
Exactly. So please stay online if you wish to watch the medal ceremonies. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage of week number 1 here in Riga. And up next will be week number 2 in Ankara, Turkey. For all of us here at the ISU and for Mark Hanratty, I'm Ted Barton. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.
Ladies